back with you tonight here on In Focus as we edge closer to the local government elections on the 1st of November. We turn our focus now to independent candidates. What do they want to offer? And what are the challenges they face in campaigning against a bigger, more established political parties? The Ekurhuleni Mayoral candidate for Independent Candidates Movement, Reverend Chris Mathebula, as well as convener of Save Madibeng Sydney, Monnakgotla, joins us to unpack some of these issues with us tonight. Gentlemen, good evening and thank you very much for joining us tonight on In Focus. We always hear that there are independent candidates now in local government elections. It's very good to speak to the parties that have been in power, but let's talk to independent candidates and really find out what are the issues that are burning for them and that got them out of their comfort zones and got them to want to stand independently. Rev, one would say you run a very successful church, you run a very successful care program, you look out for the poor, you support the community. You made a choice at some point that you are getting in the ring and you're throwing your hat in the ring. Why?
Good evening, good evening to you, my brother, and to all the viewers at home. I think I'll start with this quotation. I don't remember who is the author of it. He says, you know, drastic times calls for drastic measures. I think, you know, the suffering of our people, it is too much in this country. And all that one is doing this time is just to extend the services to our people and in this country. That's all that one wants to do. People are suffering, people are crying, people are really going through serious challenges in the country. So we felt, because we are close to the people, we work with people day to day, let us extend our services to them to better their lives, because there are people who cannot reach out to them. And so we just want to make sure that we reach out to the people in an easy way and to better their lives. That's all that one wants to do.
Yeah. Why is it that communities can no longer trust in the bigger forces, the bigger powers, the partisan politics to deliver services to them?
Yeah, because they are up there, you know, they are up there in the parliament, they are up there, you know, maybe governing, but they are not into the level of the people. You know, that is exactly what is happening. People, they need people that they can interact with them, people who can actually listen to their cry, and so that they can serve them, you know, in their needs, you know, at that time. So that is exactly what is happening at this present moment. People, they just want people that they can see, and so that they can cry out to them and give them the answers that they need. And that is exactly that we want to do. We just want to serve people. People are suffering. I think you've realized during the time of looting, you know, that people are really, really desperate, and they don't care about the politics of the country. They don't care about big words. They just need that butter and bread on the daily basis, and which is what we have been doing. All that we want to do on my side, it is just to break the walls of the church and continue to extend our love to these people, because people, they matter to God and they matter to us. That is what we need to do. And they don't want manga business. People, they are not even, you know, asking for big things. They just want, you know, food. They just want shelter. They just want better education. They just want better health, you know, so that they can live like anybody else. Why is it difficult to do that with all the resources that we have in this country? But it only goes to the few. No. Things cannot go on like that. So we have come in as independent candidates because we are representing these people in our community, and we want them to do exactly that.
I'm going to come to those bread and butter issues and what you will prioritize should you make it in the next 100 days. But Sydney, let me understand, you yourself are not standing at any ward, but as an organization, you have deployed people to stand in particular wards as independent candidates. Is that correct?
Evening, Tao, and evening the viewers at home. Yes, it is correct. Save Madibeng as a civil movement, we were given representatives by the communities. For the first time, the people have given us they have made their own choices on the people to represent them in council. And as a civic movement, we are going to contest all the 41 wards in Madibeng local municipality.
Do you get a sense that there is this overwhelming support within the communities to give you that mandate as opposed to giving it to the bigger parties?
Look, Thabo, the people are tired. For the very long time, there's been a gap, and there's a voice of the voiceless has been missing for quite a long time. The people, I will give an example in our municipality. People over the years kept on marching about dirty water, kept on marching up about poor service delivery. But nowadays, or maybe for quite some time now, people are tired. People have no longer faith in our government, in our leaders, and people now are hopeless. And that's when Civic Madibeng was born, because we wanted to give hope to our people. We wanted to bring the dignity of our people back. Our people have been taken for a ride for quite a long time. And we still don't understand why is it difficult to provide people with clean running water, and why should it be politicized? For people to have land or to have access to RDPs, why it has to be politicized? And only members of certain political grouping have access to such services. So for quite some time, and Civic Madibeng has positioned itself as the voice of the voiceless, and people of Madibeng have shown confidence in us, and they have entrusted us with their preferred candidate for us to go and campaign for them and contest under the banner of Civic Madibeng. And it's exactly what is going to happen in the forthcoming local government elections.
Why do you believe the municipality is performing the way that it is performing? And by performing, I'm saying non-performance. I mean, sewage spilling, roads not being fixed. I believe in Madibeng, even as we speak, electricity has been cut. Water is not consistent as far as supply is concerned. Those just the basic service delivery. Refuge not being collected. Why do you think the municipality is performing the way that it is performing?
There are a number of issues. There are a number of issues which can be regarded as the cause to the poor performance of the municipality. One, we know that our municipality has been ravaged by corruption, and we are not saying this from the vacuum. Even the Auditor General has pronounced himself in this instance. And also the issue of consequence management, the employment of people who don't have the necessary skills to can provide the services to the communities, and also over politicization of the administration, meaning the political interference by the ruling party, by the leaders of the ANC in the municipality, and also because we have seen over time, we have seen municipality being put under administration when we are still saying that this administrator is going to fix the municipality, is being removed, another one is being brought in, and we have pronounced ourselves as Civic Madibeng before that these administrations that have been evoked by the provincial government have nothing to do with service delivery, but it is a battle between the factions of the ANC on who's in control of the municipalities. And that is the cause of this service delivery challenges in Madibeng.
Yeah. Rev, one would say Chris Mathebula will find a big surprise for him when he gets into council. It doesn't work like church. These are politics. The problems are deep. You've got no experience in governance of a ward or a municipality or whatever. Why would we want to even put you up as a mayor?
Yeah, well, it is not even about running a church. It is not even about an experience. I think how many people you have with an experience, with all the degrees out there, but here we are in a serious mess with all the expertise that people have, the dog trades and all that. We are in a serious mess. You know, I don't think it is all about your qualification or experience that you have. People, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That is the principle. If we can just have servanthood, leadership in this country, you just take what has been given to you in a form of a tax, and then you just give it to the people the way it's supposed to be done. I think it is the simple business. Cutting grass in our community does not need you, to have a PhD. I mean, look at our environment. Look at the littering around our community. Look at the infrastructure. It is not about being a pastor. It is not about being a person with a PhD. It is the basic thing. It is humanity, Ubuntu. If people have trusted you, with leadership, take what has been given to you and give it back to the people. I know people are saying, and then now you're a pastor, you want to step into this space. Whose space is this? Why do we want to separate, the services of the ordinary citizens who are concerned about their citizens and say, you pastors, you belong to church, and then the politicians, they belong to the politics? Who came up with that? And that is the problem that we have created in this country, because good men and good women, they've taken a back seat and they've been hiding in the church, and they're not giving solutions into the community. Now, because we have touched the issue of the church, let me also give you some other things, Thabo. The Bible talks about Joseph in the Bible. He's the man who brought solution in the government of his time. It speaks about Nehemiah. When the walls were broken, he never said, I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor, while people are starving. He had to go to the people and make sure that he serves. When I started, I said drastic times, they require drastic, leadership. It is a season now, for all of us as South Africans, pastor, nurses, ordinary people, young people, devoted citizens, people who are concerned about this country, both white and black. We need to come up and build this country for the sake of the next generation. That would be my take, Thabo.
When we come back from the break, I want to get to the real governance issues of housing, issues of unemployment, and what your big ideas are when you get to the ground. We'll continue next with the independent candidates tonight here on In Focus, Newzroom Afrika, channel 405. Back tonight on In Focus with independent candidates as we build up to the November 1st elections and the registration happening this weekend, which allows for people to register but also to stand as independent candidates during the upcoming elections. Reverend Chris Mathebula, the Ekurhuleni Mayoral candidate for independent candidate movement, as well as Save Madibeng convener Sydney Monnakgotla, who said they've fielded close to 40 candidates in all the wards. Before the break, Rev was talking about real issues now on the ground. Ivory Park, overcrowding. We know what the streets look like. There are issues, for example, about land invasions in the Midrand area. How are you going to tackle that?
Thabo, let me also start by saying, wise people, they surround themselves with people of skills, people of knowledge. I need to say that we are not entering into this matter with the mentality of building a church here. You've got people who are more experts, in this area, and they are living among us. So we are coming with a team here of dedicated, devoted citizens who are aware what is happening in our country, and they are aware about the sufferings of our people. The question is, how do we build moving forward? We've got resources in this country. Let me just start with the issue of a fertile ground that we have in this country. Why can't we work that ground? What about farming? We have never taught our children to step into an area of farming where we can produce vegetables for ourselves and all that. I don't know if you remember, Thabo, when we grew up, you and I, immediately when you finish matric, you would go into a restaurant, get a job there, or being trained and all those other things. Those things today are no longer given to the people so that they can actually benefit what is happening. all that you need to do in this country with all the resources and then with all that we have, you just need visionary leadership and be able to create jobs for the people, you know, and then so that they can sustain themselves. Unfortunately, over the years, we have built people with a mind of dependence, you know, to say, sit back there, depend on us, we're going to feed you, we're going to take care of you. For an example, imagine if we say to the people, you know, we are giving you a 350, why can't you probably clean a city, you know, maybe once or twice a day? We're going to double that 350 to 700. I'm just giving you an example. And then those things can be done. But remember, today we don't have jobs. It is because of corruption, you know, that has actually taken place in our city, in our community. If we can view
from what I'm getting from you, Rev, is that what you will prioritize, at least in the first 100 days when you come in, is job creation. By and large, you're going to try and get as many people at least working as possible, get them on farms, get them into something of an extended public works program, whether they'll be cleaning streets or whether they'll be doing some kind of work within that public space. Is that where you think your big ticket will be?
No, definitely. We're going to start there, Thabo. Look at our streets are dirty. Our streets are dirty. That will be the first thing for us. Get young people who are not working. Let us start by cleaning our environment, because even a healthy environment makes you think and to be creative as well. So we're going to start by doing that. Collect many young people. Let us start cleaning the streets, and then that is how you create even a job for them. Thereafter, let us move to farming. We've got enough land in this country that can produce food for everybody. And then when we go into that level, and then we'll be able and then to build some few things, few jobs for our people, to empower them, and then so that they can sustain themselves. So for me, the first 100 days will be mainly that, and then you'll be beating two birds with one stone. You clean your environment, and at the same time, you deal, you know, with the issue of unemployment, especially to our young people, you know, who are sitting there very frustrated, and then they opt to crime because there's nothing that is given to them.
Yeah. So the huge challenge in Madibeng municipality, Ekurhuleni area as well, around revenue collection, people not paying for services. That's what we hear when we speak to this current administration, and therefore they are unable to fulfill certain obligations that have got to do with fixing of infrastructure and so on and so forth. What is the one big idea, innovation that you're bringing if you are indeed appointed into that space?
Thabo, maybe let me firstly say that, you know, Madibeng area used to be one of the best municipalities, and residents in Madibeng used to pay for services until such time that the municipality has decided not to render proper services to the people. It's then that the people withdrawn from paying the services. Thabo, as Safe Madibeng, we've consistently mentioned our flagship programs ever since the beginning of the year. And one being that, you see, for quite a long time, there has been an attempt to improve the situation of water in Madibeng. There was a time where the national government took over the upgrading of the plant as well as the provincial government. But even today, they have not succeeded. And the reason is what? Is that politicians are interfering with the processes. Politicians are distracting the progress of the processes. And as a result, the communities continue to get dirty water, including sanitation. Currently, as we speak, the sewer plants are not functioning in Brits and surrounding townships. In Mathebula, we know that the raw sewer is flowing into the nearby stream. In Brits town, we know that the sewer plant is not functioning also, and the raw sewer is flowing into the river, and which is a health hazard to the communities. But Thabo, our plan in terms of water and in resolving the problem of water, we have said that in order to remove this political interference into the provision of water to the people of Madibeng, as Safe Madibeng, we have proposed that municipality establish an independent entity. And obviously, they will have to enter into private partnership with other existing water boards, like your Makhalis water, your Rent water, because they will have to bring in their expertise in resolving the matter. Madibeng has no capacity at this stage to can give people of Madibeng a clean running water. And this is one of the programs that we are going to ensure that within our first 100 days in council, we implement.
Yeah.
And the other issue is that in Madibeng is I've mentioned earlier on that municipality is being flooded by incompetent comrades. People are being rewarded with the positions in the municipality. But the reality is that those people, they don't have the necessary qualifications and skills to can perform what is expected of them. Yeah. And even the auditor general...
What are the people saying? What are the people saying? Right on that question of qualifications, right? A lot is being said by the public service administration around the professionalization of the public sector and people getting qualifications. Now, when you speak to community members who are giving you their support and giving you their mandate, are they concerned about whether or not you're qualified in as far as academic qualification is concerned to be able to do the job?
Thabo, young graduates in Madibeng, they are hopeless, they are so demoralized. People have been applying for positions in the municipality, but they are not considered because the very same positions that they are applying for are being occupied by comrades who don't possess the necessary qualification. But as if Madibeng, like for instance, in January, we wrote to the municipal manager and requested that they need to conduct a skills audit because we are very disturbed by the report of the Auditor General that it can be possible that a finance department of the municipality spends 35 million rand in salary bill, but the very same department it's outsourcing those functions, and it's paying consultants more than 35 million to perform the very same functions. And we said that no, but there's a problem here. The Auditor General has made his opinion, and we were saying that to municipality, please action that opinion of the Auditor General by conducting a skills audit so that you know the type of people that you are having. We can't continue spending recklessly like that.
Can I come in?
Yes, sir. I mean,
you know, I strongly believe that, you know what, put people who are qualified for a responsibility or for a job, you know, that must be done. You know, it is not about the comrade that I know or the neighbor that I know, and then we put them into these responsibilities, yet at the end of the day, they can't even perform. I strongly believe if you want somebody to be in a department of health, get somebody who's qualified for that and who knows exactly what they are supposed to do. And people must be held accountable because people, they do, you know, something if they know that they are going to be held accountable on that. So for me, and that is how you need to do it. I think over the years, we have compromised that. We have taken people who are not qualified in something, and then just because we know them or so and so knows my uncle and all, and when we place them there, at the end of the day, even what they've built, it is something that does not actually last. You know, so I strongly believe that the day we take people not only who are qualified, but people who love their country, people who are passionate about their country, people who really want to leave a legacy for the next generation. You see, the problem that I have seen, I don't want to attack anybody because it's not about who has done what, who has not done what here. You know, it is all about, you know, getting people who can do the job and people who are visionaries, people who can think about the next generation, people who want to leave a legacy. Not somebody who comes in there and say, because it is not leadership. That is not Ubuntu. That is not caring about the children who are coming after us.
I appreciate you both. Thank you very much for coming through and sharing your flagship programs and your vision for the various municipalities in which you are contesting. That's Rev. Chris Mathebula as well as Sydney Monnakgotla there with the Madibeng, Save Madibeng campaign. And they are, of course, putting their hats in the ring for the upcoming local government election.